Hello, you guys.
What's up?
This is
Marvin.
Amber, and Liberty is off in the other room, and we're with the family. And y'all, we got to talk to you about something very important to us. We have some things we need to get off our chest.
Yep.
We are going to talk about our Black business experience.
So as it relates to our Black business experience, we're going to cover a couple of areas.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about some of the wonderful experiences that we've had. We're going to talk about some of the not so good experiences that we've had, and then everything in between.
Yeah.
We want to start with here or
in general. We can start in Houston, just in general. Yeah.
All right, cool.
So we're going to start by first saying that we think it's very important to support our community.
It is. Well, I just want to say, before anyone jumps in the comments and say, oh, that's racist. No, it's not. It's important to support our community and keep that in the front of our mind, in addition to our everyday spending.
Of course.
I think everyone has different causes that they're passionate about, and supporting our community is one of our causes that we're passionate about.
Definitely. So like I was saying, we think it's extremely important that we support our community. We're not saying that our community is the only community we should support. However, we should be doing it nevertheless.
Right.
So that's something that we really took to heart. For the last few years, we've really been, trying to help build up our community. There's been a lot of losses, obviously, for hundreds of years with our, with the African-American community. And so we just felt like, well, what can we do on our level, on our end in order to do so? So it's like, you know what, let's reach out to some people where we would normally maybe just kind of not even think about, who we got to maybe lawn mow our lawn. Let's think about that. Or, even baking a cake or just any type of thing that we may have, because what we've learned through reading, you guys, and just through documentaries and things of that nature is that there are so many other groups that do that, and they're able to maintain so much wealth and be able to, borrow from each other because they have banks. They're able to get, healthcare treatment because they have hospitals, they have schools, they have all sorts of things. But we, on the other hand, don't have a whole lot of that. There are so many deeper issues of why we don't. But we said, what can we do to start now to kind of at least start building up our community financially, economically?
And I think it starts with the last thing you said, economics, our dollars. What are we choosing to spend our money on a day-to-day basis? They talk about statistically how specifically the African-American community has $1 billion of spending power, $1 trillion. It's like some gigantic number. Meaning that, and that used to be something that was celebrated. It's like, oh, wow, we have all this spending ability, until you start, unpacking that statement and realizing, well, if we have that kind of spending ability, which is the GDP or GDC, whatever it's called, it's enough money to be a small country, essentially. We spend that amount of money on a yearly basis. Well, what is exactly do we have to show for it as a community? I think in any city that you go to, there's typically a Chinatown. And I don't think that that's by accident.
No.
I think that a collection of individuals from that community say, you know what, we're going to do business for us, by us. So when you see the Chinatowns or you see the
Middle Eastern communities.
Don't think that that's something that's accidental, and it just so happens that that's just the part of town that's Chinatown. That is a collective mindset that came together at some point to say we are all going to do business together, and they have something to show for that. We don't have our Africa town. We don't have our communities that you can tell are businesses that are made specifically for us, by us. Now, and I'm talking about intentionally.
Exactly.
We're not talking about the hood or the ghetto and stuff like. We're not talking about where, because of socioeconomic reasons, we are forced to be in a certain area.
Environment,
but we're talking about those individuals that are middle income to higher income, making a decision to open that business in their community to be a service to their community.
Our community,
exactly. So one way that we started doing that, and we had a video talking about it, but we decided to bank black. We decided to move the majority of our assets to black-owned community banks in Houston, and we have done the same thing here
in Atlanta. Yeah,
that's just one way of doing it. In addition to that, we make it a point when we moved here, when we were getting ready to move here, all of the work that we needed done on our home, the vendors, the different services that we utilized, including our realtor, we wanted to make sure that as best as possible that we try to support a black-owned business.
Exactly. So in saying that, so we said we're going to talk about everything in between.
Yeah.
So,
well, overall, how has it been for us?
Yes. So overall, and we were just talking about this a moment ago. So some of you may know that Marvin and I, we will be celebrating our 10-year anniversary this year at the end of the year, and
we're having a renewal wedding ceremony.
A vow renewal wedding ceremony, and so we are so excited about that. And so naturally, especially being here in Atlanta, for many of you that don't know, there's a huge high population of African people.
Yeah, it's chocolate city. It's the new chocolate
city. Yeah. And so we, in our mind, well, funny enough, when we were looking for different vendors, you know, whether photography, videography, cake, so on and so forth, we, as we were looking, it was very natural to just see African people doing all these type of services. Yeah. So whenever we saw it, we were super excited because it was like, okay, good, we can sew back into our community.
Right, we're not going to have any issues.
Exactly. So the first thing that we really started looking for, you guys, was for our cake, you know, and of course we're vegan. So, you know, we were looking for a person that can make a vegan cake for us. So we reached out to a young lady who was a part of our culture. And she eventually reached back, and then we reached back again, and then we didn't hear back from her at all.
Yes. And then we had another scenario where we reached out for another service pertaining to our wedding.
Yeah.
And the individuals did not immediately get back to us. And so what we will say is, I won't put this caveat out now.
Yeah.
As it relates to Marvin and Amber, any comments that we make about our community are always going to be constructive in nature.
Yes.
And so this is in no way a knock or going to be a knock on Black businesses, because we know that the game is rigged to an extent to make it very difficult to be a minority business owner.
Yeah.
So we want to put that out there first and foremost. But those are factors that we cannot control. You can't do anything about the aspects of your business. We own businesses, and we know that there are certain aspects of business that are a lot easier for certain cultures to accomplish than it is for us. And we're educated. We're doing well for ourselves. We've checked all the boxes that we believe we are supposed to have checked off to have made our parents proud, and all that. But that doesn't mean that we haven't run into issues that have caused issues for us from a business standpoint and a career standpoint.
Yes.
But what I've experienced so far in this wedding planning, because my babe has been taking the lead on this aspect of it, because a lot of these areas, you know, I'm not very familiar with. Most guys are not. Most guys just say, baby, just spend, you know, just keep it on the budget and that's it.
He's not like that.
I'm not like that. Yeah. I'm watching every single dollar. Every single dollar.
Yeah, he's very involved. It's just that, you know, back in the day when we were, when we got married the first time, and we had done a lot of research, and so I just have like, I don't know. I just have like a little.
You know how to find.
I know how to find the stuff.
The certain things that we need.
Simple.
And you know what's a good price versus not a good price. Like, I don't know that space. I could never negotiate. Pertaining to our wedding, because I don't know what's a good price versus what's a better, all that. But it's still important to both of us that we try to support Black businesses in this endeavor. And so what I'll tell you is that we don't advise you to just blindly support a Black business. What we tell you is that if you are looking for a certain service to be accomplished, as much as you are looking for one specific group, make sure that you, if it's where feasible, that you ask, hey, does anyone know any, minority owned business in this space, you really don't even have to ask. You
just
Google
you can Google it and find it. Yeah.
And so, as Babe was saying, we started out hitting up a couple of Black owned business. It's Atlanta. Yes. So you can slip and fall and wake up in a Black business, Black owned business. Definitely. That hasn't been hard.
It's not hard at all
to support.
Yeah.
But what we have found in my experience, and you can say how your experience has been. So you can school a little bit. I want a little sexy stuff.
Thanks.
But anyways, what we have found is that so far the communication has been very, very slow to get back to us. And we're the type of people, because again, this is something that's important to us. This is a cause that we are passionate about.
Yes.
We have not given up on Black businesses, but it has been very difficult.
Extremely difficult.
In this period, to just get a call.
To get a call back, y'all. Yeah, and then what's funny is that hi, beautiful. Maybe it just came by. What's funny, y'all, is that one of the businesses that we reached out to, I want to say last week, we finally got a response yesterday.
Yeah.
So
how many days was that?
I mean, it was at least 4 or 5 days, y'all. And I was just telling Babe, I was so frustrated because you hear a lot of people of color say, that's the reason why I don't support Black. That's not an excuse. We're not going to say that. Yeah. But it is frustrating because you do want to support these businesses. And unfortunately, in some cases for us, we had to give business to someone else. Yeah. So that way we couldn't even keep that dollar moving like we wanted to. Yeah, recycle it because some of these business people have not been on it. But now let's take it more on the other side, more of a positive stream. Since we've been here in Atlanta, though, well, I'm going to go back to Houston. We had a service at our home of a lady that she actually had a cleaning service, you guys, and she was on top of her game.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Black owned. We actually had her. We started with her at our home. Y'all, it's so funny because we keep our house very clean. But what it was is it was around the time we got pregnant, 2012. And Babe and I, we would switch off, taking turns cleaning, in our restroom in particular. And y'all, when I was pregnant, oh my goodness, I was working too. And when I would get home from work, I would crash. And so we ended up finding her, and that's how we ended up having her. And y'all, we kept her way too long. Such a sweet lady, but we kept her way too long. Only reason why I said it is because we're very clean people. So it was just kind of one of those things where I think we just kind of wanted to support her, really, to be honest with you. We just really wanted to support her. And then when we left, we ended up coming here and then we didn't need it anymore. But anyway, she was on top of her game. Yeah. Being here in Atlanta, remember we met the guy that helped with our inspection,
our home inspection,
on top of his game. Yeah. I mean, just very professional.
I want to shout him out. Right quick.
Dave's gonna look that up.
Find his name.
Yeah, y'all. He sent us an invoice to our email, had the rundown of everything, and then he told us, I'm gonna get you guys your data from the inspection tomorrow.
Yeah, it was morning. Like a whole report,
and he put together. And he gave it to us, y'all. When he said he was gonna give it to us, know.
Hold on, I want to find.
Okay,
him.
No problem.
Okay, he's called. On Instagram, Southern Property INS LLC. So if you're on Instagram, go to @Southern Property INS LLC.
Yes.
His name is Brother Jerome, and he services the entire Atlanta area.
Yes.
And he's been dope. And we're building.
Yes.
But we have read how important it is to have a home inspector, even if you're getting a brand new home. Yeah. Make that investment because it will save you money in the long term.
Exactly.
And he's on point.
Yes, he's very professional. I mean, in, like I said, Black business, but then in other areas, it's really been a kind of hit or miss type of situation. But like I said, it's been frustrating because it's like, gosh,
I want to say his number too, like, is that okay?
Okay, sure.
His number is, you can text him 678-779-4039, 678-779-4039, and tell them the family sent you.
Yeah.
Do that.
But yeah, so there are so many businesses that we have come across that have been very good, and then there are some that have literally lost out on business, due to the fact of not being on top of their game. With the photography, we found this one group of people initially, and Unfortunately, you know, we reached out to them. We didn't hear back from them that day, but then we had reached out to another photographer that was a non-Black photographer, non-African. When I say non-African, I'm talking about African people of everywhere across the world. This particular photographer reached out that night and even apologized. I'm so sorry for the late email. Here's a list of my pricing. You know, I would love to talk to you when you get a chance, yada, yada, yada. We finally hear back from the other couple. We were excited. It was like, yay, they finally responded. But then you guys, customer service was not on point. We were asking, okay, so the other photographer just offered to give us stuff that we didn't even ask for. So we were like, you know what? Yeah. She was offering this. Let's see if they can go ahead and match it because we really want to support them, right? Yeah. So we get on the phone with them and we're asking if they could send a certain thing to us. And then they were not even just quick to be like, oh yeah, we'll help you with this. They were like, well, this is something that we usually like to do in person. And it's like, we're not in person right now, you know? So it was just so many.
It was almost like they were kind of not on top of their game because they felt like, oh, I'm dealing with people that look like me, so you know, I don't have to be on my game. And because it's like you can kind of, it's in a sense not as a knock, but you kind of let your guard down. And I feel like we deserve the same level of service that you would give to any other culture because our money is green at the end of the day. And what I would say to Black businesses out there, that because I've seen it on the internet, don't ask no Black business for no discount. Don't ask no, and we cool with that. We'll rock with that. We won't ask for a discount, even though I ask for discounts to everybody. However, I don't do that for Black businesses. But I also expect, if you're expecting full price, I'm expecting a full level of service.
Exactly, y'all.
And that's not too much to ask.
It's not, and it's so disappointing. And I would hope that they're not thinking, okay, based on their voice, they sound like they're Black, so we're not going to do. I would hope that was not the issue, the first conversation we had. But all I can say is that when we spoke with the first photographer, they reached back that night and apologized and everything, so on and so forth.
That wasn't a person of color.
There wasn't a person of color.
It
was not.
It was a person of color.
Well, yeah, it was a person of color, but not an African person. There you go. You're right, babe. Yeah. Yeah, it was really frustrating, y'all, because, you know, you're kind of trying to give them a lifeline, like, come on, please do this, do that, you know. But at the same time, I think we did discuss that, you know, we shouldn't have to beg anybody to be professional. This is your business, so you should be willing to sell your business, you know, so that we can make things happen. And it was just a stark difference, you guys, in the African business and the non-African business. And so that's been something that we're just trying to like figure out, like, how can we overcome this, you know? Have you guys
as a culture?
Yes, but have you guys ever experienced any of this? Like, do you guys have any stories that are similar? Like, how have you been able to overcome just dealing with, you know, businesses? You want to support the Black businesses, but they're just not on point. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. You're like, help us out. We want to know, you know, because we're trying, and we're not going to give up on our people. That's not even an option, you know, but we did have to move on, unfortunately. And like I said, then we had another photographer. I think I reached out to her the very first time. And like I said, she came back 4 or 5 days later, and I just told her, I'm so sorry. I appreciate you reaching out, but we already have a photographer, and I didn't even hear back from her.
Yeah, and with just to circle back to the the baker that we found, this person did not get back to us, but before we even heard back from her, it was like a day or two prior, after we reached out to her, we saw that she posted on Instagram that she reached 500 subscribers.
Yes.
Girl, if you don't answer your phone and give us a call back and come get this money.
Oh, y'all, isn't that crazy?
Makes no sense. Like, you focused on the wrong thing.
Exactly, because I started following the young lady initially. I think she had went on like a vacation or something of that nature. Or something. I don't know what it was. And so, I was just like, I told babe, I just kept telling her, I said, babe, I'm trying to reach out to these people and they're just not responding. And like I said, I don't think that, I definitely know, I'm going to say think, I know that all Black businesses don't operate that way, but there are just, from our experience, there are too many that do, you know, that are just not professional, not quick to answer the phone, not quick to send an email. I mean, the lady that's doing our cake, unfortunately, I mean, I'm not going to say unfortunately, but she's able to give us what we need. But when we got on the phone with her, I'm talking about, we're literally emailing each other back and forth, like a text message.
And it wasn't a Black business. No. It's not a Black business, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But the fact that we are even trying, I think is is we're not the only ones I know.
Yeah.
We know that there's some of you guys out there that have made the cause of supporting our community, recycling our dollars as much as possible, something that's at the forefront of your mind. And I think that's a fantastic start, because some people aren't thinking about that.
Yeah.
And some people take the approach of the other color's water is cooler.
Yeah.
The other color's ice is colder.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And so, you know, I would say if you've never supported a Black-owned business, please give it a try. You don't have to necessarily be a person of color, a Black person, to support a Black-owned business.
Of course not.
Because we know some of you guys are subscribed but not Black, and these types of causes may not be something that is important to you, and we understand that. But what I will say is that if you value things pertaining to Black culture, the music, the sport, the clothing, the hair, whatever it is. It was non-Black people that went to see Black Panther because it was just a good movie, and they left it at that. And that's fine. That's the way that we should be looking at supporting specifically our community, because we spend our money in the Asian community.
Yeah, we do.
We spend our money in the Indian community when we support the restaurants or business, because the food is good. Yeah. And we're vegan. Yeah. And a lot of the choices that cater to our way of eating are at these restaurants. And we just ate there anyway before we were vegan. Yeah. But again, we bank Black. We seek out Black business owners whenever we have certain projects or things that we have going on from a career standpoint. In our careers, we are Black-owned businesses as well. Yeah. Being in the education space, and then me being in the financial space, we are also asking for the support of our community, not directly, but in our everyday interaction. Exactly. We have to overcome certain perceptions that people have towards people that look like us, simply because of things that may have happened with their experience with other people. Yeah. So we, as an opportunity, when you watch our videos, this is a representation of Black culture. You're not going to see no ratchetness. You're not going to see no pranks. You're not going to see no nonsense. We're going to provide quality content from a family perspective. Exactly. Happily married couple with our daughter, all that great stuff, so that you can see, okay, you know what? Not all Black people operate a certain kind of way. There are different varieties of us. We do have people that are very ratchet and ghetto and whatever, and that's one section. And then we have another section as well. We have different sections. We're not all one way. No. And even my thing is that we may not be a certain type of way, but it's not that we're better. You know, it's just we just. It's not, for me, I say it's nothing but God, because I grew up in the hood, you know. And I grew up in the hood too. Yeah, so it's like we were, you know, the Bible talks about being in the world but not of the world. And so that's kind of how we look at it. We're no different. It's just that we were fortunate enough, you know, to have parents that, you know, even though maybe we didn't have as much at one point, they were able to shape us and mold us to a degree where we wanted better, and we were able to, you know, accomplish that through the help of God. So, but yeah, I mean, we have to continue to strengthen our community, and we have to continue to keep trying, even though it can be very frustrating and, you know, but there's nothing about us that's like, okay, we're not going to deal with it. Our people know. We always have to, because there are so many positive and wonderful experiences dealing with our people that we love. You know, it's just that, you know, we will be honest, we are a little anal because we're very, very structured people, and we're planners, and we're those type of people. So when we meet other people that have that similar way of doing things, it's easy for us to attract to them and to, you know, and then our time is very valuable, you guys. You know, we don't have time to waste. You know, we got to take care of stuff so we can move on to the next thing, you know? Yeah. And I would feel that those businesses want to hurry up and get our money so they can go on and get somebody else's money. That's what we would think. So in conclusion, we're still continuing to support Black businesses. That's a commitment that we've made. We put our money where our mouth is, literally, by banking Black. If you are not banking Black, I highly suggest that you look into a Black bank in your area. All banks are FDIC insured. Exactly. So as long as it's FDIC insured, your money is fine. It's good. And like Babe said earlier, it doesn't matter what your race or culture is. You know, everyone we could all learn from each other. Yes. I mean, and for us, you know, getting away from the big banks, for example, it builds that family, that community feel. True. You know, with our some of our business dealings now with our Black bank, we're able to call the person up and be like, hey, Miss So-and-so, how you doing? Say, oh, hey, how you doing, man? Hey, Marvin and Amber, how y'all doing? And it's like talking to
like an auntie or
a parent or whatever. You know, you have that relation. But if it was with those big banks, you calling an 800 number, you probably reaching somebody in India. You know what I'm saying? But with banking Black and doing business within your community, not just Black, but within your community for a segment of your income, it not only strengthens relationship, but it strengthens economy. And that is how you have the Chinatown. That is how you have the Indian town. That is how you grow your community $1 at a time. Yeah, and we can't feel like Babe mentioned earlier about racism and being racist. You know, it's not being racist at all. No, that's something racists have come up with to justify their racism. Exactly, to say it's not okay. No, it's perfectly fine for you to do it all day. Yeah, to support your community. It's just like any type of cause or any type of situation that you know. In our family, we've had death with, you know, breast cancer. So that's something that we support, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like supporting breast cancer, for example, you know, or any type of cause, you know, something that means a lot to you, you support it. And obviously because we're in America and all the race relations that have happened here, it's so sticky and people don't want to talk about it a lot of times. And people automatically want to say, well, wait a minute, well, why does it have to be a Black bank? Well, you know, my thing is that we're playing catch up, y'all. You know, and the Black banks were created because we were excluded from the other banks. Exactly. Just like HBCUs were created because we were excluded from other colleges. And racism still goes on. So does that mean that we need to shut down HBCUs because we think racism is done with? Somebody just got shot last week for what appears to be the color of their skin. So no, as those things continue in our community, it just reminds us how important it is to make sure that we are supporting our community. That way we are essentially being part of the solution and not being part of the problem. Exactly. All right, guys, this is Marvin. Amber. We appreciate you watching this video and hopefully you found some value in it. Give us a thumbs up, and if you could, please share this video on your social network. We are really growing our channel by leaps and bounds. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers. That's super dope. Yeah, it's a blessing. And if you want to support the channel, there's a couple of links below that you can click. They're mostly affiliate links. So any support that you give doesn't cost you any money. But it does help support the channel, so we appreciate that. And it's not a plug for that. I mean, if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. That's fine. We just appreciate you guys rocking with us. And hit the thumbs up button. At least hit the thumbs up button. And just let us know, you guys, what your experience has been as it relates to banking Black. But you can support this Black business by clicking any of the links below. I'm just saying. All right. Thank you, guys. All right, y'all. Peace. Peace out.